Alright, we're watching Lowrzolution, who's playing May on Oasis. This is Diamond 5 on PC. Humbly requesting advice. We lost. To be honest, I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm somehow in Plat/Diamond. I started playing Overwatch when Overwatch 2 released. I played Season 1, then quit. During that one season, I peaked Gold 5. Then, nearly a year later, I decided to come back. This time I played in Plat and climbed to Diamond 5. I have absolutely zero idea what I'm doing. I feel like one day I just appeared in Plat/Diamond. I get that these aren't the most impressive ranks in general, but for me, they are. As a May, I've been told that I'm a tank bully. I like to wall off tanks and slow them down with my Ice Beam. However, in this game, we're playing it's a hog. This is one of the things I'm confused about. I've been told to bully tanks, but also to not shoot the hog, because that gives him ult charge, and he's a lot of health. I don't know that I exactly agree with that. So do I shoot him or not? Also, things just felt like they were moving really fast in this game. I felt very lost and didn't really know grasp what was going on. The entire game felt like I was panicking to do something. Really, the only things I know how to do are wall people off, wall snipers off, play next to my tank, not get mad when losing. Things I can improve on. Right click with purpose. A lot of times felt like I was mindlessly spamming right click and hoping a hot shot hit someone. Get better game sense. Not really sure how I can do that. Don't hold onto my wall or ult too long. I would totally agree with that. Get better wall aim. I misplace level. I actually think your wall aim is fine. Also, if it's not too much trouble, can you point out some things I'm doing correctly? As I said earlier, I'm just playing the game with no sense of direction, somehow ranking up and hitting personal best ranks. I want to continue doing things correctly if I can. Okay, so I've seen this game in its entirety. I would open by saying I'm a little surprised that you are Diamond 5. This doesn't feel like low diamond gameplay to me, low diamond high plat gameplay to me. I suspect that you are significantly, you have probably kind of a new player, a common new player situation where you're a lot stronger in certain situations where you can be like basically dominant and completely helpless in some other situations that you've just simply never encountered before, and you're like, oh, like, what do I do about this? So giving an analogy, right, a non-gaming related analogy, let's imagine like we're playing basketball, okay, and I'm very used to playing against man defense, right, one-on-one, and I'm super good at scoring against man defense. But if the defense switches to zone, I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm like, okay, like, how do I find a shot? How do I get open? Like, where's the help defender going to come from? And that gets really, really confusing to me because I just don't have experience playing against zone. That's like just an analogy to help illustrate this concept. Because I bet, based on watching this game, that you are really good, first of all, in defensive situations, which makes sense because you're playing May, but second, in situations which are a lot less chaotic and a lot more linear. So for example, I bet you're way better at payload maps than you are at King of the Hill, right, control, or flashpoint maps because of this. Because they're much more open, and a lot of it's about death matching skill and like looking for pick opportunities. And because that's not a strength of yours, you really struggle to figure out what you should be doing. Versus if you think of like a linear map, like let's say Circuit Royale, it's like, oh, it's just one long line, I wall off the tank dies, great, we're good, right? Or big 5v5 fight on the point, I throw ultimate, we win, excellent. But in control points, because it's so open, and it's often like you're having like these little skirmishes that are happening everywhere, you get very overwhelmed and you're like, I don't really know what I'm supposed to be doing right now, and you kind of autopilot and don't provide a lot of value. I would say that as overarching things to start with, you should be right clicking way more. You try to left click, so for perspective on numbers, left click does 100 damage per second if you hit the entire spray. Your right click does 94 damage a second, which is less, but your right click can headshot, which means you can get up to 185, 190, right, plus damage per second with your right click, which is amazing. And not only that, your right click does 75 damage on a body shot, 150 on a headshot, which one taps tracers, which you're going to face for about 2/3 of this game. You are constantly a threat against tracers. Actually, a lot of tracers hate playing against Maze for this reason, is because you can just one tap them out of nowhere, right? From full health, they instantly die. No chance to blink, no chance to recall, they eat the headshot and they die. May Icicle also has a fairly large projectile size, so it's a lot easier to hit a headshot with a May Icicle than it is with a lot of other weapons. So as an overall tip here, I would say try to right click a lot more than you're left clicking. But yeah, we're gonna cover a bunch of examples. Let's go into it. So we start here, right clicking. This is kind of a weird situation because your tank's not here. Ideally, you guys should have been moving to the point, right? Because you're way better on the point to control. But without the tank here, I think this is like fairly unusual and only happens really in lower ranks. But without the tank here, I think this is fine to just wait. All right, Hans is out there. You hit the headshot, so you know that he's not gonna poke there. So one thing to note here is you're gonna get low a bunch of scenarios and you're not going to take cover instinctively. So one thing that's really important to think about is, can I die? Can I get one shot? Like, can I die without being able to react? And as soon as I drop low enough that that's the case, I need to take cover because I have to respect the opponent's aim. So Cassidy, for example, Cassidy does 70 damage for a body shot, 140 on a headshot. At 131, I can't peek this anymore, because he headshots me here, I'm dead. And if I'm dead, the fight is effectively over, right? You should assume any fight where you die, the fight is you're going to lose the fight. That's that is the general rule. Is if I die, I'm not expecting my team to carry me through a 4v5 fight, right? Like, it might happen, but that's just luck. That's certainly not like anything that I did. So always, right, try to avoid dying first. People who consistently die first are like almost always the ones who are throwing for their team. So with 131 health, there's no reason for me to peek this. This is extremely dangerous for me to peek again for like no value. I can't get a kill here. Like, it's not like the end of the game. It's not like 99% we have to contest. There's no reason to take a risk here. Cover right away. And a big part of the game is knowing how much damage do enemies do. For example, if you have no idea how much damage Cassie does, you're like, I don't know how much damage Cassie does. Like, I don't know, 50 damage, 100 damage, 150 damage. I have no idea. It's very hard to play the game because you don't know, like, look, how do I react to the opposing hero that I'm fighting, okay? I know right offhand, Cassie does 70 damage. She does 140 in headshot, which means as soon as I hit 140 or below, I must cover, unless I have something else that I absolutely urgently need to do. But in this situation where like nothing's really happening, take cover. All right, reload. Very, very small note here is you should actually play wider from the corner than closer to the corner, because closer to the corner, it's going to reveal your shoulder faster than you can see them. This is like a fairly advanced tip, and if you played other tactical shooters, you would know this, but I'm just noting it right now. If you want to know more, like, look it up online about like how to peek, and there's a lot of content on this. Okay, let's think about this. So we're stepping up. So I would step back and say, I really enjoy watching or reviewing Mei gameplay, because I think Meis have an unbelievable amount of potential to carry games, right? Wall is one of the strongest abilities in the game, like unquestionably. Off the top of my head, I think it's the strongest non-ultimate ability I can think of. Okay? You can completely mess up an opposing team. I'm fairly confident you could win games with Mei through like platinum, literally through wall and just left click. I think you need somebody to farm ulti, and like just left clicking and wall, you could probably win games through platinum pretty consistently. Like, wall is an unbelievably strong ability. But let's think about what the situation is right now. So we stepped up. We know the Hanzo's on our left. We've seen this on Hanzo on the left. We know the tank is in the mega room, and we've seen the Cassidy to the right. So what's our plan here? Well, with the Mei wall, I'm always thinking I want to isolate people from the team. That's often the tank, especially when it's a brawl tank, because the tank is the one who's most forward, so they're easiest to isolate. But it's not always the tank. So we can also look at flankers and think, hey, is there a way for me to isolate them if I can force the fight quickly? So in this situation, I would consider walling off here, right, like there, and then stepping up and immediately trying to kill the Cassidy. Because if you wall off here, no one in the opposing team can help the Cassidy. So if the Cassidy stays here, he's going to get run over by your team, right? Or maybe he rolls off, in which case, at the minimum, your team can step forward and get to the point successfully. Because right now, you can't cross the space safely. The Hanzo's shooting from your left, the Hog has the risk to hook, and the Cassidy's constantly shooting you. If you wall off this, at a minimum, either the Cassidy dies or the Cassidy retreats, so you've cut out 2 of the 3 angles, and then while you're coming in, you can poke the Hanzo a little bit and then get onto the point and start contesting. So that's like the gameplay that we're thinking of here. Stepping forward right now without walling is extremely reckless. This Cassidy could easily kill you right now. So as you go forwards right now, 1, 2, he has no ammo, but I don't think you knew that, right? But I'm gonna pretend like the Cassidy had ammo. So from when you get through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shots at you right now easily kills you at this point in time. At higher ranks, you're 100% dead here. There is no way that you could possibly step out here for that long and not expect the Cassidy to kill you in that situation. So that's why I'm saying the wall here is so important. If you wall off, your whole team can help you spam out the Cassidy, and he's not going to feel safe to stay in that spot poking at you. All right, Roadhogs come up, you pop Ice Block right away, then you cancel it, which I think was a good idea because you could have walled off the Hog, but you don't wall off the Hog, and then now we're just kind of still in a bad situation. But Cassidy dies, okay, fine. So we wall off, get the point. I think this is an okay wall. I think the Hog was already rotating, but that's fine. So this is a situation where I don't want to left click him, I just want to right click him. Left clicking doesn't help me, right? Right clicking, especially Hog with tanks, large head hitboxes, gives me a chance to burst him down So it's not he's not going to die either way here, but it might force him to go around the corner. Left click, not a good idea. It also exposes you. With right click, I can go right click, right click, right click around the corner. With left click, I can do, I stand here like left click, left click, left click, like just following them around. That makes it very easy for him to hook you. So think right click, right? By default, I would say 95% plus of the time that you are attacking should be right clicks over left clicks. And I think for you, it's only like 60% or so. It's way off in ratio. You will see Mays, like high level Mays, who literally won't use their left click the entire game, right? They'll go like whole games and only right click. Your right click is very strong. So you reload. Okay, so we don't have block right now, but we do have this wall. The brig is in. You want to be right clicking the brig right now. And ideally, your brig's not going to die here with shield, but you want to be right clicking the brig and you want to rotate to this side of the point. Why? If I stay here, I have two angles to worry about, my right and my left. If I stay over here, I only have to worry about my left, so I can cover here and keep shooting from this angle and poke everybody out. Okay? You don't want to sit in the middle of everyone where you can just get blown up like this super easily. So again, you should be right clicking here, not left clicking. Right? She's got shield up, it's fine, just right click. See how you're walking forwards? You shouldn't need to walk forwards, right? If you just right click, go here, play cover, you're good. Especially with only half health. So Ram gets hooked in. I think walling here is a reasonable option if they try to contest, especially if the brig goes forward. But they give us to us. Okay, fine. I'd be careful peeking this again because the Hanzo's looking at you. They're retreating. So while they're retreating, you can understand, hey, wall to prevent people from going where they want to go. The Roadhog is clearly retreating right now and he's half health. Just wall him off like this, right? Or here, and he's in trouble, right? Because then he can't get away safely, and then maybe you get a pick here. So you're going up, you're trying to play this corner. I think this is somewhat dangerous unless your tank is here, but your tank's sort of coming up, so you're okay. So you're looking for a wall off. I think now you're rotating back because you feel like you've overextended. Like, see, you start rotating back before the sim dies. So it feels like you're indecisive. You're like, oh, we're hold here. Okay, we're not holding here. I'm going to go back to point. So follow your tank's lead here, right? If your tank wants to play point, play point. If your tank doesn't want to play point, right, wants to play up, then play up. Generally, I would say try to avoid doing your own thing. I'm about to contradict this in a second, but generally try to avoid doing your own thing if you can see the tank and you're planning on playing around your tank. Okay, you can hear the Hog right now. You're going to hear him / look at him in a second. You also know the Hanzo's out here. So my perspective is, look, I don't need to deal with the Hog. My whole team is here. Literally, there's 3 people here to deal with the Hog. Let them deal with the Hog for now and just keep the Hanzo from coming in. Ideally, I want to hit like a headshot or at least a body shot here and then force him to retreat, and then I can come and help on the inside fight when they start getting committed. So you need to see the online there. So now you know there's 2 people on the outside. So from here, I would seriously stay here and just keep poking them down with icicles, because I want to make it very, very hard for them to help their team and force the 2 or 3 people here to have to fight against my whole team on the point. All right, so keep poking the outside. Yep, Hanzo first. Just keep working the Hanzo down. All right, Hog's in. Weirdly enough, I think it's still reasonable here to keep poking at the Hanzo, right, until the Hanzo takes cover, and then come back here and deal with the Hog. But we're here, that's fine. So Hog's here. I think a wall here would be good. All right, you block here, that's fine. So here we're looking, okay, probably cancel, and then we're going to wall off one of these 2 areas. I think ideally you wall off this and then work the Hog down from here. But this wall does nothing. I know why you did it, because you're thinking, okay, I'm going to stop them from pursuing me / I'm in the Hog, but there are 2 doorways here, so this wall does literally nothing. So this is a very, 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 this is like basically a 0 value wall, and this is devastating. Missing a wall as Mei is usually fight losing. All right, Life Weaver grips him back out. Okay, fine. So you need to be very careful here. You're like stuck in the open. You need to get the cover, right? Poking away. I think this poking is basically fine. Notice right now that you're spraying for no reason. Okay, see? Look at your ammo. See how you're spraying? You're literally spraying a wall right now for no reason. This can't be happening. Like, your spray does so little damage, relatively speaking. It's like quite hard to land the spray. So just as a general rule, I would say just don't spray people. There's like very situational areas where you do want to spray people, but you are spraying way too much. Like, for example, if you're fighting like a Symmetra at close range and you're having trouble hitting the icicles, yeah, spray her. That's fine. That's good, right? If you're fighting somebody elusive, like a Kiriko, right? Spray her. That's fine. But fighting any big-ish target or even like most regular squishies, right-click them. So we get 3 seconds here until block and wall. So we want to play Ram Shield, okay? We want to play this cover, try to stay alive as long as we possibly can. Every second we're alive is good. You see how you're running forwards right now, the spray? This is incorrect. May's spray is not a particular danger. If I'm the Cassidy, I see you running at me spraying, I literally just stand still and headshot you twice. Because the damage is like actually like not meaningful at all. Headshots, very dangerous. Icicle headshots rather. Spray, not dangerous at all. See, like the Cassidy is not actually afraid of you right now. See how you're running at him? Like he's like cool. Like he just doesn't care because it's not actually a threat to kill him. Like seriously, stop spraying people. So you're gonna break this. So we're thinking about you're thinking about a wall here, but the hog is already nanoed, so like this wall, like you could try to wall to try to save a teammate, I think is reasonable, but since you decide not to do that and you throw this wall is objectively wrong. Even if you popped it here, the Life Weaver could probably still see around it. I think walling off the Ana here is an okay option, and I think walling off the nanoed hog is an option, right? Because you actually had the chance to save your Kiriko right here, right now. See how you turned over there? You had the chance to save her with the wall, but you didn't do it. The nanoed hog is literally the worst possible target to be attacking right now. So nano reduces damage by 50%, so effectively doubles his health. That means his hog has effectively 1,000 health right now. There's no reason to kill the 1,000 health hog when you have a 200 health Ana and a 225 health Life Weaver. 250? What's that? 225. 225. And I think there's also somebody else on high ground? Yeah, the Cassidy's on high ground as well, but he's not really accessible to you. So any of the supports would be the right call here, right? You should be going up here, fighting, dueling the Ana, right? Fighting the Life Weaver, just at a minimum, like forcing them to focus you instead of healing or helping this fight versus trying to go after the hog. And if you are going to fight the hog, which you should not, but if you are going to fight the hog, you don't want to get closer to him. Again, he wants you to get closer to him. He is a very brawly, close-range tank. That's what Hook is for. Hook doesn't knock people further away. Hook pulls people to him. So the fact that you're going closer to him makes it easier for him to kill you. Alright. So, fight's lost. Let's go forward. This game's going to take a long time to review at this rate. Alright, so we're walking up here. I don't think this is a good wall. I understand. You're like, hey, look, the Hanzo's a threat. But first of all, it's one person. Second, he can rotate through here pretty quickly. So I think this is a pretty low value wall. I would save wall here and try to poke him down with right click. I think wall here is a potentially better value wall to wall off the Life Weaver, right? Or if the Cassidy was further back, you could wall off the Cassidy and the Life Weaver. But I think either way, I think I probably would just save the wall here. So next thing to note is ultimate. You basically don't throw ultimate this entire first point. You should be throwing ultimate roughly every 3 fights. Not puffing it is a bad idea. So Dragon gets popped here. You also get purpled. The right call here is actually to walk out of this as far as you can and then pop block. But you block in the middle of the Dragon, which is tricky because now you have to wait the whole time, and your tank is dead. With the tank dead, the odds of you winning this fight is like 0. If you walk forward, you could potentially have dodged it. You could throw an ultimate. You could have walled them off, or you didn't have a wall, but a lot of options there. Just right clicking. So here's another good example where you get tagged. As soon as I eat that one, I have to play safe, right? Play very close to cover. But you see how you strafe out. You're gonna take that shot, and then you're gonna die to the Hook, Cassidy headshot, etc. You're not so far from cover, right? I think there are times where you are further away, but I think just something to keep in mind when you're walking forwards, you are in grave danger. They do tag you and kill you. Not 100% your fault. I would say like this is kind of like a reasonable death. I do think you could play a little better with like slightly better reaction time. All right, your team's on the point, somehow managing to fight this. I have no idea how this is possible, but yep, Roadhog's dead. Excellent. So you see how you're spraying there? Don't spray. Just right click him. There's no need. Just right click him. He's walking backwards in a straight line. Just right click him. Now, team is trying to retreat. You wall. Okay. This is okay. I think you want to put the wall like closer up here, and your Cassidy is too low to be able to pursue this anyway. But regardless, yeah, right click him. Yeah, good. Good headshot. Looking for the kill. Can't get it. That's fine. Yep. And retreat. You can poke Cassidy right now. Again, as long as you're over 140, you're good. Cassidy cannot kill you. Obviously, breakpoints change if you're discorded or if they have mercy. Yep, tagging, poking, this is all fine, right? And we're tracking, hey, where are all the enemies? Especially, I don't know where the hog is. Ana's on the point. Oh, boy. Okay. So you're going to hear the Ana hit the sleep here. You should have immediately turned to the right and been like, wait, what? And then started poking this Ana down. Because you basically stand still right now to confirm this kill. This is a big missed opportunity by you to just not react to the audio cue. Right there, we heard sleep dart and we heard rest up. So I know, hey, look, the Ana's hit sleep. I immediately turned to my right and I started shooting her. All right? Alternatively, which is even better, is turn to the right, shoot her, notice that my Ana is slept, and then wall in front of the Ana. I don't think anyone below Masters would even think of that play. I think Masters might think of that play. I think a GMA would consistently see that play and get it. But I think at all levels, you should have at least noticed the fact that the sleep happened and try to shoot the Ana. But losing your Ana here is really bad. Now you're down 1. So we want to pursue the Ana right now because she doesn't have a whole lot. So I understand as I'm coming over to kill the Ana, I don't want a tunnel vision. I know that they're still out here. I know the Hog is here. Wall the Hog off, then go over here and then confirm the kill on the Ana. And at minimum, then we can turn into a 4v4. But just leaving your side open like that means that everybody can die right now. Hog could hook the Ram. He could hook you. Like, this is all real bad. Right? Hooks. So just noting here that if you wall here, this is never a problem. Right? Because the Ana dies long before she can see anybody because the wall would block LOS. So, Hog here on the point. You're kind of in this tricky situation. So this is a 3-on-4. The problem is you're at 76%. So you have to make a tough decision here as to whether or not you think you can win this fight if you throw ulti. I think it is winnable, right? With the Ana dead, I think it is theoretically winnable, but with the Lifeweaver there, I think it's actually the wrong call ulti. I think you have to give up this fight, probably. But let's think for a second. Okay, so Roadhog is nanoed, and as a reminder, bad idea to shoot the tank, right? Unless you have no other targets, don't shoot the tank. I think you really are looking to disengage from the tank at this moment in time and find an opportunity to poke down a Lifeweaver, right? So for example, turning this way, poke, and try to get around the corner to avoid the next hook from the Hog, because you have nothing to stop that hook. But staying here, just spraying him, does nothing. Like, I want to play from the Hog's perspective. The Hog literally doesn't care what you're doing, right? You see? You're like spraying him right now. He does not care. He's like, cool. I'm going to heal up. All right, now I'm going to kill you. All right? Spray does very, very little damage, and against tanks, it does effectively 0 damage. It technically does the same amount, but tanks ignore most low damage sources because they have so much health and durability, they don't care. A good example is like Torbjorn turret. Tanks don't care about Torbjorn turret. Like, you'll like never see a tank die to a Torbjorn turret. It like effectively doesn't change their decision making at all whether or not the turret is or is not there. Right? It's different against squishies, who obviously have a lot less health. But against tanks, they can ignore stuff like that. They can ignore Torb turrets. They can ignore Sim Spray, right? They can ignore Moira Grasp. These are all super low damage sources that they just do not care about. So with that, fight's over. But we have one last chance. We do have ultimate, right? We've been saving ultimate the whole time, but we do have an opportunity right now. We must throw ultimate in this fight, okay? No question, I have to throw ultimate. But one of the issues is somebody needs to go to touch point. But I need to be walking forwards like fast right now. I have a choice between off-angling or going with my team. Either one is okay. I think actually off-angling is a little better here, but that's fine. So, the Roadhog is slept here, right? You have Blizzard. You could possibly throw Blizzard at him, but one of the problems here is that the Lifeweaver is going to grip somebody out of this. So, one of the options is to wall off the Lifeweaver and then throw the Blizzard to take the tank out of the equation. The other option here is to throw Blizzard at the Cassidy. But I think either way, you need to throw ultimate right now. Your tank is super low and it's basically had to like burn all his resources just to get to the point. Suzu's already forced. If you don't do something right away, you're going to lose this fight. So, you good wall off here. Lifeweaver's going to grip him out. This should have been an immediate ult toss. Because now they have nothing to stop the Blizzard. You should have tossed ulti here and then stepped back around the corner and waited for the ulti to freeze them. That's not what happens, and then you're going to die here. Right? At this point, it's like 5-on-3 or whatever. So, okay, that's first point over. Let's go through second point. So we'll skip through second point pretty quickly. So the second point's the reason why I think that you are better at payload maps than you are at control or flashpoint. Because you're going to cap the point, right? Just poking people off. Cassie's going to die. This is another good example of like, just don't stay in the open. 2, 3, 4, right? The Cassie kills you in just 4 shots here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Not particularly difficult, and you give yourself no chance to survive here because you're not near cover, right? You do have ice block here, but I don't know if you have it in time. 2, 1, You do have it barely in time. By the way, if you hold down the button, if you hold shift, it will pop as soon as it's off cooldown. But in general, just don't take that challenge in the open. Cassidy is much better at dueling you like in the open. All right, so we're coming forwards. I'm going to see the Roadhog is hooked. I immediately throw a wall. I immediately throw a wall under the Roadhog, under my friendly. Either way is fine, but I want to try to save here, right? Or between them. I want to try to save my teammate here. So you're finishing a reload, mistake. Just wall here, right away, you should wall. Very, very lucky that Iliari does not die right now. So Tracer's going to kill you here. This is a good example where, like, I don't know how much experience you have playing FPS games, but you don't react to this Tracer at all. So you see the Tracer is in the fight. She's right in front of you. Okay, so we see her right here. She gets bounced to the right by Iliari's outburst, and then she just one-clips you right now. Let's look at it from the Tracer's perspective. So I'm going to slow this down. She gets bounced. So you see how you literally don't react to that at all? Like, she just unloads the entire clip into you as you walk in a straight line, and you're not doing anything. Like, there's no attempt to dodge, there's no attempt to fight her, there's no attempt to wall or ice block or anything. You just walk forwards and die. Right? So again, we'll play it in slow. Right? You have everything right now. And I don't know if this is like slow reaction time or what, or like you just didn't clock that the Tracer was in the fight. But like that's gonna hurt you really, really bad when you try to climb if you can't react to stuff like that. Like literally anything, like even just turning towards her and starting to dodge would have saved your life. Tracer one clips on a Mei are nearly impossible. It is really, really hard to pull that off as long as you dodge even the tiniest amount. All right, so it's a good wall for the Cassidy. You're trying to get the kill. Icicle accuracy is not spectacular, but it's like the right general idea, right? That's like a good wall. You tried to kill him, right? He was out of position. Couldn't get the kill because of aim, but that's, is what it is. So, note here is you see the hog out of the corner of your eye right now. And I when I say see it, he's on your screen, but I suspect you didn't actually see him, even though you can also hear him. And that's also a general problem we've seen, is that you tunnel vision a lot. I think you're having trouble processing the amount of information that is like going on during the game. But when I see the hog here and I hear the footsteps, I think this hog is going to stand right here and he's going to wait for me to peek again and he's going to hook me. Like that. So, obviously, that's bad. But the good news is you're Mei, you can block, you managed to not die here. So, grenade goes off. I think this is a good example where I would end wall block early. You don't want to get always at full health, because if you run it to the end, people can predict the end of the block and they'll kill you as soon as you get out of it. If you end it early, they're often reloading or like kind of resetting their aim or whatever it is, repositioning, and you get an opportunity where you can survive for another second or two to do something else. So I would end this block early before you get full health and immediately wall off right here. And then your whole team can fight the Cassidy and the Roadhog in there. But because you wait all the way to the end, right, now you get stuck with the grenade, and now you miss the opportunity to get the kill with the wall. And now you're forced to wall just to stay alive. Nanohog again. So, as a reminder, Nanohog, really not good value for me to attack. I think slowing here is actually okay, because it'll kind of slow him from getting to the wall. But in general, I think that in other situations, I'd be trying to poke down the back line. But I think you're screwed here no matter what happens. You're going to miss that icicle headshot. But either way, this fight's like over. Alright, we're going to step up. Team manages to get picks. We have it. And then from here, the game is going to simplify for you, because you're just holding this choke. And you understand how to hold a choke. Right? I think that you're probably really good on like King's Row, for example. So you wall off. Great. You release. Right? Now your team walks up. Tries to fight. Again, spraying too much, right? More icicles, less spray. Icicle her. Icicle her. Icicle her. This whole time, these should all be icicles. Right? Again, even one hit to the head kills her. A one hit to the body forces her to recall. So, icicles against Tracer are excellent, phenomenal value. She does not want to be playing against Meis. Right, you block here to prevent the hook, which is good. So, that wall is clearly, like, way out of position. Yep. Icicle, fine, right? Reload right now. There's not a lot you can do right now. I think spraying right now makes sense to prevent from getting to the wall, the shield, but other than that, you need to reload early. So, Ana is going to kill your, or rather, Tracer's going to kill your Ana. Now, this is a really good example where you want to figure out, hey, how do I want to be spending my time? Is it trying to spray this hog? Not really. Again, one shot on the Tracer kills her, right? You should be trying constantly to kill this Tracer with icicles, but because there's not enough pressure against her, she manages to stick and kill your Ana. And then from there, you're gonna be in trouble. But the good news is, we got a ram wall here, and then we're gonna just straight up win this. So, if you wall here, yeah, I would definitely wall them off from the touching point. But that's a good example where it's like, look, if you simplify the game for you, you're like, all right, which is pretty common with new players. And you are, like, if you started when Overwatch 2 released and played during Season 1 only, and played now, you are very much a new player, right? Like, you have maybe 100 hours of competitive experience. Like, you're like a baby compared to most other players that you're gonna be playing against. So, yeah, again, simple gameplay makes things easier for you, for sure. But the problem is, how do we play well when it's not so simple? Again, we want to give ourselves like good overall goals. This is kind of a tough point because walling here is only sometimes valuable depending on a lot of different scenarios. I also, one thing to note about Roadhog is you often don't want to wall tanks at the very beginning of fights unless they truly have nothing else that they can use to survive. For example, you wall Reinhardt early, he just holds up a shield, and he has 1200 health in the shield, plus like 700 effective health, he has 1900 health. He's not going to die. Right? He's just going to stand there and be like, okay, I'm going to wait for the wall to break, and then we're going to continue this fight. Same thing for like Orisa, right? For Orisa, you pop it behind her, and then she's like, great, I'll just pop spin. Okay, am I still in danger? I pop Fortify. Great. Am I still in danger? I pop spin again. Like, it's fairly difficult to like kill them early on. You want to wait until resources are burned to some extent and then look for the good walls. This Roadhog right here is not particularly vulnerable at this moment in time because he come out and he's going to have a full healing cooldown. We can't even see the bar, but he's going to have a full cooldown or full resource charge on his heal. So he's not in crazy danger here. You can wall to try to force cooldowns out, but I'm just noting is that the Roadhog has a very little chance of dying. But you wall here, that's fine. At a minimum, it forces the Roadhog back, which is okay. But we're really going to have to hold this spot. Like, I cannot leave this spot right here. Crossing this open gap, it means I die to either the Cassidy, or I die to the Roadhog, or I die to the Ana. So no matter what, I think I am stuck here. For better or worse, I'm not leaving this general spot. If the Roadhog tries to fight me, so be it. And you just do your best to try to stay alive. So you're going to block here, try to purge. Good example where wall right now would be huge. If you could wall right now, this would be a big wall. This is probably a fight-winning wall if you had wall right now. But without wall, you don't have a lot of options here to do anything. Ram gets hooked down, you're basically dead here. Yeah. So that early wall that doesn't get you a ton of value is killing you. So Cassie's out here messing around. For the record, you do have an opportunity to wall off behind him, right? But we're going to go out here. You're going to kill the Cassidy. Okay, fine. You're going to camp this corner. Trish is going to go by you. Very, very lucky. So we're going up. Don't spray here. Just right-click. And additionally, this Ana, she jumps out of position. I immediately wall off right here. If you wall off right here, this Ana 100% dies. This is a fight-winning wall right there. But you don't see it. Then you still have an opportunity to wall her off this way. Less guaranteed that you'll kill her, but possible, right? It's at least worth it still to try at this point in time to go for that wall. But you don't see either wall. You block, right? So I think the wall you're looking for is not this one, which is still okay, but not great because they can just shift to the side and be okay. You're looking for this wall right here to wall them off. So just rotate it and you would be good there. But don't left click here right now, right click. The Cassidy's super low right now, but not low enough that spray's gonna kill him quickly. One body shot right click while he's jumping kills him. Again, one body shot right click kills him right there. We're late on this. You're having trouble with the Tracer, reload. You block, right? Force the block. I come out of this block early. I don't want to get full health because I want to help kill the Tracer right now. The Tracer's like, oh, you're healing? Great. Now she goes up to your team. I unblock here, even with half health, and I try to kill her because she's not looking at me. So one headshot here, right, or even a body shot changes the nature of the fight, and my team doesn't have to worry about her anymore. So you slow her. So your goal here is against the Tracer. Your goal, not ideal, but what you're thinking is, I'm going to spray the Tracer. I'm going to try to kill her down because she's low on movement abilities. The thing is, Tracer still does a lot of damage, and she can get healed. So this is not actually a good fight. You should just right-click her here. Just right-click her right now. Right? But she kills you. For the record, you still could have killed her with a melee right now. But the timing is very tight. Each box, by the way, each box of their health bar is 25 health. So melee does 30 damage. As soon as they have one box, you can insta-kill them with melee. So we have Blizzard. We have to use Blizzard here. This is final fight situation 80%, right? But they've killed 2, but we got a little bit of time here. Cassie's out of position, right? We got to walk up here. So have to walk up, right? I'm thinking, hey, look, I'll even chuck the Blizzard here and force trance. Because, like, you have to force something out right now. And then you die. And then with that death, there's nobody's going to even be able to touch point. Okay, so what can you improve on? You said right-click with a purpose. Sort of. I mean, I think just right-click more in general. Just constantly be right-clicking. Like, always be looking for damage, especially against squishies. And ideally hit more of them. But I don't think your accuracy is, like, that bad. Like, I don't think that's your primary issue. I think you just need to right-click more and not try to spray. And in particular, don't try to get closer to people just so you can spray them. Just right-click them down from whatever a safe distance is. Number 1. Number 2, get better game sense. Obviously, that's like a huge category. Most of that's going to come with experience, but I think in particular, just look for walls, right? Look for more wall opportunities. Like I highlighted a bunch in this game. You'll see like example after example after example, and then that'll make you better at identifying those opportunities in the future. I would also note throwing ultimates is part of that too. Just knowing that you're supposed to be throwing ultimate basically every fight when you have it available, unless the fight is like clearly won or lost one way or the other, you should expect to be throwing ultimate. Don't hold on my wall or ultimates well. We mentioned that already. Get better wall aim. It's not terrible, right? It's not. I don't think it's like a super big problem. I think mostly you're just not putting them out enough or in the right situations. Are you putting on things that I'm doing correctly? I think you're pretty good at staying alive in general, except against like the Cassidy, right? I think that you would do an even better job staying alive if you didn't have to run at people to spray at them. So if you just cut that out, I think that would significantly improve your survivability. So I think you can generally survive. I think you're looking for walls, but you don't see all of them. I think you are trying to poke the back line, which is good. And I think you're generally not out of position. You're not in like really weird spots where I'm like, why are you here? I think you're generally in position, which I think is way too good. Okay, I'm going to stop there. Hopefully this is helpful.